Alright, wait.
Why am I missing one over there?
Alright, starting. I don't know if it's gonna work, but yeah, it's working.
Well, seeing that, let us begin the meeting at 5:30. Hello everyone. Roll call. I recognize that Tanya is present, Zane is present, I am present, Jessica is present, Janelle is present, Ryan is present, Carly is present, and Scott is present. Okay. Approval of the agenda. Nice and short one, everyone. Anything that feels pertinent?
I just want to thank Jessica for writing the minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Appreciate it.
appreciate the.
Okay. Seeing that, the root and everything. It's just a transition. Everything's a transition. Nice and broad. I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, all those who approve the agenda, please raise your hands now. We have 7 for and 0 against. On to approval of the May 30th minutes. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move to approve.
Second.
Oh, you gotta let her finish, Bill. Come on.
It's for me.
Okay. And second. All right, all those who approve the minutes from May 30th, please raise your hands now. 7 for, 0 against. Fantastic. Meeting preparation. Y'all ready for the meeting? Because all we're doing is talking to new people. So I hope you're ready. Yeah. And let us begin transition. We're 9 minutes ahead of schedule already. We're so good at this.
I was wondering why you had 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right, everyone. So we're going to start off with a round of introductions because I think everyone, I know all of you, but I don't think everyone knows everyone. So my name is Daniel Wang. I'm the chair of finance board. It's he, him pronouns, and welcome to the finance board.
Oh, you should do a check-in question.
No,
No, like a fun question. Yeah, you should do a fun question.
Yeah. What kind of tree would you
If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Oh my
I
god.
like that. How are you feeling for fun?
Oh, I actually do like that question. I would like.
What question? Like, what's your favorite type of weather or something?
All right, y'all.
Nah,
there's only like
If you were a tree, what type of tree would you be? Okay, I'm taking the first suggestion I got.
I saw him on
I have to answer. I would be,
No, he would not be a cedar tree.
I
He
don't
would be a redwood tree because he just grows and doesn't give a shit.
Excuse me, I just be the tree that catches on fire. That one. There you go. And on to you.
I'm Justin Conner. I'm a new, or I will be an incoming finance board representative next year. So I think the tree.
Yeah, what type of tree are you, Justin?
I'm a Christmas tree.
Ooh, okay, all right. Let's keep going, y'all.
My name is Elsa. I'm also an incoming rep, and I would be a content. I'm Elise. I'm also an incoming rep, and I was.
All right, introduce yourself.
Candace Martinez, I'm Assistant Director for Leadership and Governance, and I also serve as the SGA advisor. And I would be a money tree.
I've chosen wrong.
My name is Liam. I'm a finance board elect, and if I were a tree, I'd be. What was the one for the meeting? Oh, this is an aspen tree. You can tell it's an aspen because of the way it is. That's the tree I'd be.
Okay.
I'm Jessica John, Finance Board Secretary, and I would be a pine tree.
You'd be.
Pine tree.
You stole my.
You can be the same
can
type
be the same
of tree.
I'll be a pine tree. Well, I'm Knopf. I swear to Fine tree.
All right, y'all.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm a member of the finance board. If I was a tree, I would be a sequoia.
What's that?
What's that?
What is it?
The big one.
It's the ones in
California.
California. And they're huge.
Like the redwood trees.
And they've been there for How do you like. spell that?
It's also Connor.
SEQUIA. Oh, QUIA?
Yes.
That's the name of my office.
Oh.
Sequoia?
Alright, Carly.
My name's Carly. I'm current SGA treasurer. Use she, her pronouns. If I were a tree, I would be. I was thinking weeping willow, but I was like, that sounds kind of sad. So I'd be an oak tree.
Hi, I'm Rashad, first year ambassador. I'd be a cinnamon tree because all aspects of me would be used.
I'm Nithya. I'm a current FYA and I'm a finance board rep. And if I was a tree, I would be a big.
Scott Buchanan, I'm a current finance board representative, incoming treasurer. If I was a tree, I'd be a big tree.
What?
A big
very
tree.
large tree.
What is a fig tree?
Big tree. Like a cute.
My name is Tanya Ramsey. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the outgoing vice chair for finance board. Weeping Willow was my first thought, but to be more accurate, I would be a white maple because it sheds its bark every season.
My name is Zane Hoffberger. I'm the current UPSO and VPSO elect. He, him pronouns. If I were a tree, I'd be a mangrove tree, which are tropical trees that grow like near the water and we can provide habitat for the fish.
Okay. All right, everyone. So it's time to start transition. I know you all had a lovely time with me on what was that Saturday. So now it's actually time to get the thoughts of everyone else on this board. I imagine they have different perspectives on the matters at hand. So we can start off with essentially, do you have any questions for them? That's just like, coming in, or do you want them to go first? Okay, we'll have them go first. So, for the finance board, what do you think is something that you would want to know? What do you think they should be? What do you think they should know before coming into the finance board for their first meetings and stuff?
Is this some document that we did?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that, and then we're like, we provided you these answers in a document. But very well. All right.
I mean, we just have to draft.
Yeah, just talk. So is this supposed to be more of like a conversation, or just like, hey, sort of also a reflection of the new year, but combining things. Oh boy.
Are we going person by person?
No,
or
just
is
go.
this-
Who wants to go? Just go.
Okay, so I'll start. If you don't agree with something, voice it because it could be really important. Even if it causes a little bit of controversy within the, meeting, it's still important that all aspects are thought of and are heard. So don't be afraid to voice it.
Yeah, I would second that and just say speak up, especially if you aren't really sure what's going on or what conversations being had. A lot of times in finance board, or even just getting accustomed to finance board and having to evaluate I guess student org events and stuff, don't be afraid to speak up and ask questions about what's going on or what's happening, whether it is you don't quite understand what the point someone's making or you don't understand if someone's referencing something that happened in the past. Definitely ask questions about that. And yeah, just speak your mind. We want to hear all aspects and differing opinions on the subject. You might bring up something that someone else never thought of when evaluating a request.
Yep, definitely.
Take notes. Answer code.
Yeah. But remember, on the other side though, while we of course encourage everyone's opinions to be heard, at certain points, you begin talking in circles, and I definitely been guilty of that, and probably just move on. Yeah. While consensus is nice, it is not required for the operation of the board. As long as you have 5, or it'll be 5 votes now, you're functionally able to pass things.
5, yes.
Yeah. So, anything else? Come on, go. Ryan.
Alright, a large part of the efficiency on the board is documentation, and we have a Google Drive, so I would say get familiar with the Google Drive really quickly, or organize it to what suits your needs, and then all operations.
One thing I did touch on is that you guys should probably read the guiding documents. What?
I will send them those
Oh,
things.
yes. Candace will send you those things. So the guiding documents right now are essentially what does the finance board do, how it's going to be operating, what your responsibilities are, and how you functionally operate within the system. And it's just I know you all have things that you want to get done. You don't know exactly how it works within the system. You can't get them done. So if you do have questions about that, feel free to reach out to people who have been here for a while or Candace, and they'll be happy to point you in the correct direction. Somebody have to raise your hand.
I was going to ask if the guiding docs are going to reflect all the legislation that you just passed in chapter 4.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. So that's one of the big things that also because remember the new system is coming into effect and you are the first generation of that new system. So functionally, please do read that and make sure that what you create is reflected in the guiding documents as well. Make sure that inconsistencies aren't there because this board itself has things that oh, this board's always done it this way. When we look back at our guiding documents though, it's just yeah, it's not supposed to work this way, guys. One of the big things is like at the beginning of the year, Carly was the one in charge of making all the agendas. And when we did a guiding document review, it's like the chair of the finance board is responsible for creating the agenda. I'm like, oh, for the past 4 years we have not done that. So yeah, that's like one of the big things is try and keep those types of like how you operate consistent with the guiding documents. And if honestly you see something that you like to change, make a change to the guiding document before you start changing it within the meeting itself. Anything else you want, everyone? There's a lot of things to talk about.
I would also add that like the seriousness behind your position. So when like making decisions and having conversations, some of those conversations might be difficult or tough, and like your end result might not like be pleasing to like all parties involved, or like some people. Like, as I say, there might not be like agreement on like all fronts when you make a decision, but like that's the job you're elected to do, is make decisions and make it in the best interest of like students. And sometimes those decisions are like difficult to come to and like tough to agree on. But that is something part of the job. So like being comfortable in discussions or like bringing up different aspects is important. Kind of like Tanya was saying, to consider all of like the surrounding circumstances of your decision. And sometimes things are going to be tough and difficult, but it's part of the job, and it'll be good.
That'll be great.
You'll grow from it, so it'll be good.
So, Tanya.
I was gonna say, since like how you're going to be reviewing requests is different than like how we're currently reviewing, this part might be
Scott.
more.
Sorry. You said nothing. Did you set it up already? Yeah. Okay.
I was going to say might be more pertinent to when you go over like the secondary ad hoc system allocations and whatnot, but like just making sure that like organizations understand like your reasoning, and this relates back to what Zane was saying about how your responsibility is to make the like best decision possible for the allocation of like the student dollar overall. So I think if you're as transparent as possible in that, and just making sure that it's clear that it's not like a partial decision, or like it's not a reflection of the value of the organization's request or anything, it's just overall contribution to the campus and what that brings to campus and returns to students, rather than just like whether or not you thought it was a good idea. And generally,
Wait, you said you got assigned, but dude, it's a different tab. Oh. Oh.
Is this
but
just
that generally makes things
refresh
easier.
that too.
Okay, thanks.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna do a brief Kahoot, where essentially it's like, what do you actually know about finance, bro? And if you get things wrong, it's okay. We'll like tell you what it should be, and like we'll teach you. It's a learning experience.
Has anyone not played Kahoot before?
What's Kahoot?
Kahoot, it's like a trivia games that you're gonna log in using your phone or other device.
Wait, can I play?
1v1.
I mean,
1v1. 1v1,
No,
bro.
people
That's not fair.
right now.
That's alright. I'm confident I can wipe
answers.
the floor.
I don't know the answer.
I'm
So
so
we have by Arzane and
That's not fair.
you should 1v1.
What is your hair?
I did 1v1.
You did
What?
do
Yeah, you did.
Man, Jackie.
Oh, Marsha. Yes. I'm living for that.
1v1.
That's okay. Close it.
Yeah.
What version? Yeah.
Should we play?
No.
No
Please.
member should be
No,
playing.
Scott.
Hey Scott, you can help me and I'll share whatever price. Make your name.
Were you not bad on stuff?
that.
I was gonna make my name Daniel.
What's Snapchat?
It's cold. Yeah, dude.
Anyone
Yo,
can play.
you can't delete Thanos' name because half the other names will disappear too.
No one yelled.
Which one did you choose first, Daniel? Which one did you choose?
2019,
Let's
21.
go, let's go.
Okay.
Name.
I'm gonna finish up the other one.
Let's go.
Boy.
I'm gonna go through.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
Wait.
I was only 6 or 2.
I know who team it is.
6-3. Everyone can play. Come on. Is this like anyone else that can
Daniel's
go?
playing. What is this?
Wait. Oh, can we play? Yeah.
No,
No, you cannot play.
Why
That's
can't
what I
we
said.
play?
I can play.
You
put it. You.
I'm going twice.
Go, start it up.
Well, you can always join later on.
19. Who has the
Yeah.
tie?
All right. Don't worry about it.
Budgetary statutes can be amended by membership.
I know this one.
Meme.
Oh, shit.
He's got to be.
I didn't make this one. You see, I'm going through the other one right now.
Also, and it's her.
All right, y'all. 2/3
And it's her.
of the eternity of the finance board. Leadership. So yeah, when you go to make broad changes and stuff like that, you need 2/3 of the vote of the entire body to get these type of big changes through. So, all right, and that's like a common theme for most big changes that the finance board would do.
Who creates the meeting agenda for the finance board? We just talked about this.
Yo, it should be the SG advisor. I'm gonna move to make a quick change.
You better watch it.
Yeah, the chair makes the things. Good job,
Okay,
everyone.
why am I not?
Of course you're rich.
Why?
Oh,
Is it room number? Michael's join number 619963.
How do you still join? How do you join?
619963. That's the code. I don't think
You're
you
still
can.
going.
You can.
It should be on settings.
all right, y'all. 2B20 is the SGA office. This will be your new home for next year. Please don't walk into 2B12 because I think that's Candace's office.
Like 697.
Walk into 318 with all the confidence on your face. No matter
Literally, who
who's
is
in.
meeting? I'm so sorry.
Little Wayne.
How do
Lil
you get
Wayne.
first right access to the SGA office?
Ask it at my.
They do.
Also, it should be access to.
Alright, how do you go and capitalize Lebowski but not president?
Yeah. So, because you are now elected officers, you get swipe access to the SGA office. Congratulations. You can like hide stuff in there and keep you. What?
I got you.
That's a street.
Damn.
A fire street.
And I'm in last place. Michael wins something. It's a constant.
You're, excuse me. I got
You can't say it like that.
If you guys didn't get this one, I'd kind of be disappointed because it's Tuesday. But good job, everyone.
Viewers be tricked.
6:30, 6:07.
It won't click it.
Well, sure.
That sounds like a personal problem.
I need to have an Apple phone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alright, Nithya, we're promoting you.
Good job.
5th place.
Alright, Colin.
You just said last. I'm in last place.
A trick question.
No 7.
Oh, that's one.
Currently, boy.
Currently, everyone.
Well, also, oh, how do you go?
Yeah.
That's right, that's just kidding.
What's the ex officio number? Also, it should be like.
All board members.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know how to All right, ex officio members can do everything normal members can do except for vote. So a certain number of ex officio members. Hey, who's an ex officio? Are you an ex officio member?
Yes.
Okay. Candace is an ex officio
I
member.
speak a lot in finance board, but I cannot
Yeah.
vote.
I speak for the trees.
So they're allowed to come less than anything to do whatever they want to do. Not like, you know.
They can participate
What kind
in
of tree is
discussion when it's limited to like.
And when we go, if you were to go into like a closed session.
What kind of tree are you?
You were
Really?
truly
A
kind
willow
of.
tree? A willow tree?
So.
I thought it was a very big tree.
Scott.
What does SRC stand for?
Yes!
This is Scott's baby, am I right?
Who doesn't like
This
it?
is like my actual
And
I really got him with that.
who's red?
Brenda.
Well,
Say that.
Oh my God, Colin!
Someone with a review.
Oh wait, why is it on here twice? Oh, student,
back
never
up.
mind. I'm
How did you not get
What is
that
the
when you were
hospice?
first?
Yo, I better see that
It was
Canadian
already
hockey
told
too.
during this meeting.
I chose the wrong one.
Oh.
You created this there.
Created the
Yeah, you created this dumb acronym, and now we have
It is secondary. Because the primary.
I'm fine with it.
Damn. Will not be.
College, it's like going here.
Yeah, come on,
Oh,
Tom.
the way you walk.
Not my friend.
What does SABSC stand for?
Super awesome.
I was there this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, come on, Dan.
So SGA is just alphabet soup, actually.
That's UMBC.
Super awesome. Did you get it wrong again? Super awesome.
No, I didn't. I got it.
So SAFRB is
Are you calling?
the one who reviews all the fees that students pay. Officially. That's like athletics fee, the activities fee, and the various other fees that are associated with it. So the SGA is from the student activity fee. Currently it's like $101, I want to say.
I think it's
104.
It's an arbitrary number.
Well, like, yeah,
It
so
could have been
all the money the
a
SGA
number,
holds
but y'all-
comes from that. So whenever we want to increase the fee, SAFRB goes through it, and it also goes through our budgets and stuff.
Little white guy.
What is the main purpose of the finance?
Oh my god. That's so spicy. That's not
How do they know
Yes.
what's the agenda?
Let's change that.
In the garbage can, yeah, they should do.
Scott, can you calm down?
White Sean.
The chair. This one's a tricky one, actually.
Just the decision of candy.
That were
Simple
It's not
majority.
2/3 majority.
No, because the chair is still a regular member. Did you even read the guiding dots?
Even guiding dogs?
What do you
I
do?
don't know.
It's like
How do y'all feel about this?
Consensus. If you got a majority,
Feeling
you
okay?
can rule it perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a regular
That's like
motion.
another shot. Oh, no one even lost the streak.
Who brings nominations to fill finance board?
This one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, President Rabowski really funny being like, yo, this kid.
You.
Really special nominations for the.
That's how I got
So yeah,
Wow.
the chair of the finance board has that power. So please aware of that when you are voting for whoever you want as chair.
What?
Where can the finance board bylaws be amended? When?
Any, I'm.
Ooh. The third monthly meeting.
I see, I knew.
There's a lot of words.
There's a lot of words in the Constitution. That's an easy word. Going into the bylaws.
I'm gonna reading comprehension test.
This is a reading comprehension.
Wait, don't the students have to also?
Yeah, it's
And
election.
and
elections.
When do you have to listen to the advisor?
Final question.
Never. I would have never.
Well, I didn't read all the. What is
Oh my God, never.
Never is technically correct.
You never have to.
Yes.
That's facts.
That's true.
That's actually.
Well, she only serves
It's
as
rigged.
It's rigged.
Alright. I won without even playing, everyone.
It's not really big because you wouldn't have got past me anyways.
Alright.
Just because you're not FYI.
And FYI, because you know more than you.
Well, at least I got all the questions right.
So there's that, everyone.
Lil Wang for the
So
win.
we're taking a second one too.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. This
Ready?
is my day.
This one specifically.
No. Okay, so you made this sad.
What is?
Oh, I
We're
made
gonna
it.
find out what you
Oh.
don't know,
This
and
is
it's
the
okay.
treasure.
We
Oh.
won't change
They literally
it.
haven't
Finance
said
board
anything.
form.
I'm like, how dare
Yeah,
you?
you literally
We
posted
won't
this.
shame you.
Are you allowed to play?
It's time to learn some things, everyone.
This is a learning
Shaming.
activity. No shaming.
Is Candace here?
I will shame anyone who shames.
Hey, when's this thing start?
Can we pause after each question to like explain?
Yeah, for this one, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yogurt.
There's gonna be 10.
I'll only do that things are long though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They know it's wrong.
Iron Man.
Yeah, he was.
Wait for Michael.
No, I said not.
Oh, can I not read? I can do it.
Wow, there's a different column in this game.
Wow, and you're gonna get the.
You're playing, aren't you? Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm not.
I can't believe they
Oh, I forgot.
Alright, you ready?
That was spicy.
Alright, cool, whatever.
Alright, fish.
17 questions, everyone.
I don't know if this is the one that we could
I'll read.
That's good to hear.
Well, did you pass the legislation or no?
Yeah.
Everything.
So this is technically.
It's a semester.
Yeah, we should maybe June
Trick questions
15th.
after the semester. Okay.
So, why don't I go to next?
You can click next.
Thank you. So,
What does it do?
technically speaking, at the time of the creation of this document, it was June 1st.
Points.
When we passed legislation pushing that back to June 15th.
What?
We did?
No.
No, we needed to do that.
It was May 15 and it got pushed to June 1st.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, we're not
I'm bad.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
If you push it back, we'll make legislation
This is our
that push it right back to where it was.
I'm very dumb. My bad, everyone. So it is June 1st.
Yeah.
They passed it June 1st. Okay.
When will the spring 2020 budget pass?
Oh.
I don't get that commercial. I've never seen that commercial.
So, for the spring 2020 budget packets, which are due in the fall, will be due 7 weeks after the first day of the fall semester. Gives you guys enough time to review all of those so you can give them a decision as soon as possible.
They're not doing the spring semester.
Hey, Lil Wayne.
True or false?
It's yep, no.
I
Good
can
job,
read
everyone.
next.
Nah.
It's called translated.
On the maximum dollar amount per person equal to. And this is in the new budgetary statutes. So, most people can write.
So the finance board wanted to tie the food number to something that was not arbitrary, and so we chose the state lunch allowance. Also, that allowance accounts for variability in inflation and stuff like that, so it makes our job a lot more easy.
What is the number?
$12
$12.
something. Yeah. A lot. Oh, I'm still winning.
T-shirts request will go through. Let's spell treasure wrong.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe the
So-
incoming treasury.
Well, income treasure doesn't spell.
This is why we hire secretaries.
I have an email written.
All right, everyone. So because in the coming year, the merchandise and t-shirt fund was merged into the overall finance board allocation, allocation line item, we will now have to give out funds to the secondary allocation, ad hoc allocation system.
No, treasure.
I'm surprised at how well Lil Wayne is moving.
Yeah, that's great.
I think they're cheating.
Most complete treasure training
Yeah.
before. Is this the
Yeah.
answer?
Oh.
All of the
Not really
above.
saying anything.
This isn't the new one.
And you can go there just to say hello. Just saying.
Yeah. So.
Meeting, how old you?
Excuse me.
What should be the first step in submitting your budget?
Transfer to College Park.
Transfer to College Park.
Transfer to College Park.
You gotta complete your stuff. Get your training done. Yeah.
Treasure.
HR.
When preparing your budget, it's important that you use Excel.
Yo, what's wrong with Excel?
Excel's so good. Excel's amazing. It's better than Google Sheets.
Yeah.
Excel's
It's so amazing.
People actually
No,
use
I'm
Google
hearing
Sheets.
contradicting statements from you.
What? Oh, come on.
Oh, fuck.
I saw you tap that and I was like, you know that ain't right, Mo.
What?
The fatal column too.
Yeah.
You need to duplicate.
You don't need to put it in a bunch of.
You just need to do like, we all got
It's
it.
called a packet because there's more than one thing.
Yeah.
Packet.
You did not have them.
I got it right.
Oh,
Yeah, we were. Hey, I got it right.
everybody else.
Hey,
did.
hey.
You don't like.
You wanna bring up, Daniel, can you bring up the templates on the
I don't know
website?
where it is right now, to be honest with you.
It's on the website.
Daniel, that's shit that you're
You don't need to type in everybody's
Yeah, but that involves DOS, and that's difficult.
Because it's 1995.
If you go then.
Yeah. There you go.
And you have multiple tabs at the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And it has included. Got it, let's see who it is.
Oh, yeah, who's on it?
Daniel.
Daniel, who's on it?
Who's on the sheet?
Who's the E?
Emily?
Oh, that's Emily.
What's up? Yay.
Somebody who's on it, remember that name when that request comes through.
All right. Oh, I'm still winning.
Column 2.
The authors are non-uniform, needs to include.
It's a trick.
I'm just interested in one. Fuck.
So
The off-campus acknowledgement form is functionally just increased accountability for organizations that are going off-campus. We want to make sure that the advisors are correctly looped into everything that the club is doing, so that if anything goes wrong, we can be like, hey, you knew about this, right? Fix that, those types of things.
Oof, the trees are so clear and crisp.
Oh, come on now.
Apparently this is really important.
The Southern Amateur Hockey
Yeah.
Association Society.
Yeah.
No, I made that up.
I would do that.
Ooh. No one knew. This is also
Treasurer is not a hard word to spell. It's not.
I think the more important thing is why, of all the things they capitalize, you choose anarchy.
All right, everyone. So all the finance board representatives, you will now be liaisons in the coming year to your student organization. Reallocation requests will be going to you first, and then passed off to the chair of the finance board for approval. If both of those are approved, then the allocation requested reallocation is approved. However, if there's disagreement, it is then brought to the board for vote. So you're in charge of maintaining communication with all your student organizations.
Budget it.
Yeah, so don't just budget it, because you can't actually budget for it because you don't know you're going yet. Yeah, I mean, unless you like, you can just like, yes, we're gonna go follow. Hey,
this mock
it's a little bit, don't do that. So just use the HOS and what your organization qualifies for in the competition. You can apply to the secondary act. It's HOS.
All of
30 days after the deadline, the finance board is expected to release a final budget for everyone, and then that budget would be released to SABSC, and the funds would be released to student organizations.
This is also the start of the new fiscal year.
Yes, also matches with fiscal year.
Budget expenditure forms and executive summary relative report must be signed by.
Oh man.
It's even misspelled there.
Who made this?
No, this is from the, what's it called?
From the
So
Yeah,
there
there was the unedited one.
Oh.
I changed it on there. I just dragged it.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
Oh,
So
You should have signed in for that.
Also for organization.
So for the advisor to the organization, while we hope student organizations are working with their advisors and such, it's more for off-campus events where we're going to demand increased attention simply because of the liability concerns with organizations going off-campus. For a normal event and budget expenditure form, only the treasurer and president can have. president and treasurer. We gotta like fix this like capitalization thing as well. Like, what are we rolling with?
We're on campus events.
25% is a little low for on-campus stuff. The majority of funds should be expended on campus, as the easiest way for students should be able to access them, and because they pay us the activity fee, it makes more sense.
Just want to send everybody away.
Why say word? Why say more when?
You were a preacher.
Yeah. Good job, everyone. Once again, feels good.
A share. We love A share.
Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you. Oh, really for me.
Who else would call you Lil Wayne?
Thank you, Leo.
90% of the people in this room.
So, that's functionally that, to be honest. You know, honestly, because we are moving into a new system, qualifying board really can tell you about what we learned this year. You guys kind of are moving into uncharted territory. There will always be resources for you and stuff. However, we really can't provide you with forecasting of what exactly is going to be happening. You're probably going to run into a bunch of obstacles that we can foresee, I'm going to be honest. What?
There may be some obstacles we run into.
But I'm confident in your capability to overcome them and succeed. Yeah.
I think I prefer to do that.
What Daniel is trying to say is that there was a lot of forethought put into the system, so we did all the checks and balances that we could to make sure that you have the most prepared system to work with as possible.
However, a system is not perfect, so we will make adjustments and deal with issues and problems as they arise.
What they said.
And you have experienced members behind you.
Please do not call me. All right.
Oh, not allowed to?
I mean, you can. I'll be like, why are you calling me? It's 7 p.m.
So, create barbecue.
And we will provide you something. Okay, so like, what do you guys want from the functionary? Is this like, you know, move? Go to a workshop. When are you allowed to actually speak?
I don't like to take your space.
Okay. No,
Go to a workshop.
Yeah, go to a workshop.
Saying,
It is a workshop for the student organizations on how the system will be functioning. You can actually pretty get on that new win, but like, it's functionally just to walk you through that.
But it's like, they give you more information about how to do the budget packet.
Yeah.
And the expenditure, and or executive summary, and like, so we go through everything about the new allocation system and how to figure out what to do with the budget, what are the steps to take in that, and then basically you take the same technique that you just did, I think, except there are better spelling words in there. But, I mean, you guys.
Those are on my UMBC, on the SGA, my UMBC group. Join that if you have time.
Isn't there a city? Isn't there one tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 3 hours?
Mm-hmm. And SGA.
Which one you guys want? This? No. This all. Apologies. So now, of course, this is a question I posed to you all again on Saturday, which is like, you all looked for transition, to be honest. It's, you guys are moving into a new system, so it's a bit more difficult for us to create documents that would effectively assist you. Something that I'm actually like I thought of is that like what happens after the time you give a budget, you know, it's just like what's the process that happens afterward? You know, it's just like, okay, so you give your budget, how does your organization actually access that type of stuff, and then how does money actually flow? Do you think that would help you? Like how they would utilize SABSC, how they would be getting quotes from ECS, those types of things to get the numbers down. We can definitely create a cheat sheet for that.
Those commonly asked questions.
We don't even know this anymore.
Well,
Yeah. that's a
some
problem.
will apply in terms of the planning and the prior to submission part.
Right.
But yeah, what do you all want to know?
Yeah. That's our, like, because we really don't know what's up. Oh, well, like, want to know at least. We give the best shot we have. Yeah, what do you want to know?
How did you intend for us to do this? Or did you just make a plan and hope things would work out for the best?
have ideas, I just make the plan and then we just set it in motion. No, this is definitely something I could work with people to like generate an overview of what we thought the system would look like, and how the bit more nitty-gritty type of stuff would be going on. Like obviously, I had an idea of how I wanted the actual review of the budgets to go. I'm happy to pass along a recommendation for that. You don't have to listen to it. In fact, don't listen to it probably. But yeah, those types of things are something that we can apply to it. Anything else?
So like, is it a contact sheet? Like, who do we go to for this? Like, after it's
That is good. We can definitely provide something like that. We should get people contacted for Spears, David Royer.
Can you just copy and paste from the previous treasurer manual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can give you a brief description of all their roles and responsibilities. Of course, I think internally you guys can do something like that as well. So we don't need to have like Tori, Courtney, and what else doing. Yeah. So we'll make everything that we're going to try to give you is targeted for finance work. So Brenda may provide you additional documents. But not a problem.
Several documents.
Yes. Right.
This handy dandy sheet about, well, this is more about alternative sources of funding for student organizations on campus, but I think it's helpful for you guys to know kind of a little bit more about like how SABSC works with student organizations and like funding and purchasing things, but also what other resources are available to student organizations, because one of the things you'll find with Finance Board is like Finance Board isn't able to fully fund all student organizations that come across and ask for money. So it's important to still be supportive of student organizations and providing them with resources of like, here's what you can do instead, or like helping them to work around certain obstacles or challenges.
And we'll provide you a contact sheet if you really do need to contact any of us. I'm joking, I'm happy to help, of course. Yeah, just give me send me an email, don't call me. But I'm happy to provide something like that. So if you ever run into a question that you think is like, oh, and it's like, I'm happy to give on that. Other things I think we might provide you are simply just maybe some Finance Board knows. This is like, these are things that you cannot do. What are things we cannot do, everyone?
Embezzle money.
Embezzle money. Do not embezzle money, everyone.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
I'm not gonna ask for the dog statue. Could you also give a list of just like a rundown for things that Finance Board can't fund based on like rules or regulations? Because I know there's a lot of that came up this year where things were funded that really should not have been according to, so create like a small list of just things that we should be able to look out for.
It's like a big thing is like redo the guide documents and stuff. That provides the most comprehensive list of exactly what the roles and responsibilities of the Finance Board are. So like things that limited funding organizations, there's a specific definition for what a limited funding organization is, and what you can give to a limited funding organization and what you can't do. So, yeah. It is now 6:15. Can we do this at the transition? We don't want.
Can we do swearing in now?
No. That's next week. Yeah. Monday.
Next week.
Get me out!
You don't need to.
At 6 p.m.
You have to, because you have to, they did a birth date.
So it's after this at 12, yeah. But the old office will technically be the office, but it's not like an event, it's just a thing that's what
Okay,
they
we should celebrate.
For 24 hours.
Korean barbecue.
Actually, hey, I'm down. Go to Iron Age, everyone.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Finish
Wednesday? What I got to do all Wednesday? No, no class. It's reading.
Yeah, there's no class because we do our presentations tomorrow and we're done.
Right. Okay. Announcements. Are there any final announcements for the Finance Board or anyone?
End of year dinner! Yes!
RSVP
It's Friday.
And don't forget to fill out your supervisors because that deadline.
Are there anybody for this one?
Yes.
Oh, okay, go.
Did you guys get emails about the end of your dinner? 5 o'clock. That invitation.
RSVP, it's going to be really cute. We're gonna have chocolate We're gonna have strawberry pretzels.
Good job. Alright, it's a political.
Huh?
Yeah, we're all
Political.
That's over?
Yeah.
So,
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's a
alright everyone, are there any additional announcements? If not, I recognize that Tanya is present, Zane is present, I am present. No, Scott is present, Jessica is present, Kunal is present, Brian is present, Carly is present. I'm not quite sure who is present. Like, no. And I adjourn this meeting at 6:15. Alright everyone. Turn it off, Kunal, because apparently this is recorded like 4 times.